If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay student, welcome you to this new lecture. Today I will be solving questions number 10A onwards. Question number 10A, 10B, 11AB, then one matching questions, then question number 2, 12 and up to question number 13 we will be solving. Okay then, let's try to solve these questions. Let ABC be the sides of the triangle, no two of them are equal. We have a side where two sides are not equal. So if two sides are not equal at any time, then the roots of these equations are real. Then, okay, ABC all are different and it is a triangle. Okay, the roots of this one, x square plus 2, this one are real. Then you need to find the value of lambda. Now where is lambda? Lambda is here. So the roots are real, they have given. So this is my idea. From here I will start. So my d should be greater than equal to 0. So if I calculate d, in the theory also I have mentioned, because ABC are the sides of ABC 3. So summation of sum of ABC we write summation A. That means all A plus B plus C. This means this is, so this I have done it to simplify this one so that I should not write big terms. And 4 into 3 into, and this is C. So C is, you are taking 2 at a time. So it is AB BC CA. Summation AB means in how many ways you can take 2. I have explained it in theory. Check that theory. AB, BC and 3C. In case of theory of equations, I think there I have discussed. Summation AB means AB, BC, CA. 2 you have to take at a time out of ABC. In how many ways you can take. Okay, what is summation of A square now? So I have written this one. So what is summation of A square is A plus B plus C whole square. So how can be written as summation of A plus B plus C? This is this whole square. This is written as A square plus B square plus C square. So that I have written summation of A square, and then 2 into AB BC CA. AB BC CA I have written this one. So this came from here. Summation of this whole square is nothing but A plus B plus. You can write it in full expression, but I am using it so that it becomes short for you. So A square is A square B square C square, then 2AB 2BC CA. Summation of this A plus B, and 4 I have divided. So this one is this one. Now you think, because ABC are the sides of the triangle, that means your ABC cannot be negative, all are positive. So summation of these should be always positive. Summation of AB, whatever you do with AB, it will be positive. If you are adding it, obviously, if you are not subtracting it, because I am adding it, I am taking product of positive numbers and then I am adding it. So that summation will be always positive. So if you have positive, then you can divide. So I have divided by summation ABC. So I have something on lambda now. Now let me do it separately here, so that you can understand there. Summation AB plus 2 by 3 should be greater than lambda. Now ABC are the sides of a triangle. Now what can I do with ABC sides of triangle? I can have triangular unity. Sum of two sides will be greater than third one. AB plus BC should be greater than, not equal to, it should be greater than. If it is equal to, then it is not a triangle. So summation of two sides should be greater than. So if you multiply this one by C, if you multiply this one by A, if you multiply this expression by B, you can multiply it by a positive number in Euclid. I have told you so many times. If you multiply it by C, then AC. Here also you will get one AC. So you will get 2 AC, 2 AB, 2 ACA. AC plus BC. What should I multiply it? AC plus BC is greater than C square. If you multiply it by A, then AB plus AC is greater than A square. If you multiply it B, then BC plus AB is greater than B square. Now we add all these three. So if you add these three, you will get this one. 2 AB BC CA, that way AB plus BC plus CA, 2 into. So that's why I have written 2 summation AB. You can see here. And this side is A square B square C square, so I have written is this way. So from here you can see, if you divide by, I need this one. Summation A square by AB. If I know this one, then I can find lambda. So from here you can find, if you divide it, ultimately you will find, you can see here, if you divide it in, that means you will find this one. Summation AB, which is less than 2, not equal to, take care of it. Now I have to make this one. So you divide it by 3. So I am dividing both sides by 3. Now I have to multiply plus 2 by 3. So I am adding 2 by 3, because I need to find this expression. So once I do this one, this expression is less than 4 by 3. Okay. Now if you see lambda, your lambda is less than this expression. This entire expression is this one. Your lambda is less than equal to this, which is less than this. Now what can you say about lambda? Lambda is less than equal to this, which is less than this. That means lambda is less than 4 by 3. It cannot be equal to, because it is not equal to it. It is not reaching 4 by 3, so lambda cannot reach. Because its value is less than 4 by 3, so lambda's value will be obviously less than 4 by 3. It cannot reach 4 by 3, so 4 by 3 will not be equal to. So that's why they have given answer. The roots of these equations are AB and those of these are CD. Then find the values of A plus B plus C D plus D. Now the first thing that will come in your mind, A plus B plus C means A plus B I have to find, C plus D I have to find. So that's what I am doing. A plus summation of roots is this one, summation of roots is this one. If you add these two, you will find this one. So up to this much is okay. Now you are stuck with C plus A. Somehow I have to get C plus A. Now how to get C plus A? Now if you see here, for getting C plus A, what I need to do? If I take this one, because A is here, C is also here. So if I put A here, it should satisfy. If I put C here, it should satisfy. So it is A square, C square. So if I take minus A square minus C square, then I can get A plus C. This A plus C. Okay. So for that I am putting here A square minus 10AC minus, because A is the root of this one, so it should satisfy this. C is the root of this one, should satisfy this. So if I deduct it, then I am getting something of this expression or something of this expression. Now I need C minus A and B minus D. So from here, if you see this equation, you can get C minus A and B minus D if you subtract these two. So if I subtract here, so it is 10C and C plus D is equal to 10A. If I subtract here, you will find D. It will be 10C minus B and 1C minus A will also come from here, so it will be 11C minus A. If you subtract this one, you will get this one. So now you are getting directly. So B minus D divided by C minus A is directly 11. So it is 11 into 11. Now once you know A plus C, then it becomes easy, because A plus B plus C, 10 into C plus A. So 10 into C plus A, 10 into, so 1 to 1, that is 1 to 0. So from somewhere you have to start and you have to think where to go. Now you have added this one, you are stuck with C plus A. Now think C plus A, how you can get C plus A. C plus A is getting, if I put A, it is A square, if I put it is C square, then if I minus it, then A square minus B square, I will get C plus A. So in that I get C minus A also. So how to get C minus A? If I deduct these two, then I also get C minus A. Now this one, 11A, alpha beta are the roots of the equation this, and these are the roots of the equation this. Then find the value of gamma. This is gamma is. So this is easy. You can find the sum of these two roots. Alpha plus beta is equal to this one, and product is this one. And then here also sum of these two roots is this one. And if you take product, 2 will get cancelled, you will get the same expression. Now what you need to find? You need to find gamma. So you need to have a gamma. For that gamma, you need to find alpha beta and you need to put it here. So these are two expressions. You just simplify it. You multiply 2, then subtract. You will find alpha. Then you can put the value of alpha somewhere to get beta, or you can do whatever you can do. You solve these two equations, find alpha and beta. Put this alpha beta here. You will get gamma. Match the following columns. So you have to match. So in this type of matchings, generally the question was not that one by one matching. A can be matched with 3-4 answers. A can be matched with P, Q, R, S. All 4 can match with A. So whatever the possible matching with A, you have to write all the matchings. It is not that one matching. A with P, B with Q. If you get one, it's not that matching. So there are multiple right options. P, Q, R, S can be satisfying A. So you have to write all those which satisfying A. Here also all those. So say P can come here also, P can come here also. If it is also satisfying it, if it also satisfying it. So that's the idea of matching here. So first thing that we have to see here, one thing is what we have to match. One is function is get positive when function is negative, and when function is less than 1, when function is 0. So you have to find all this boundary. Once we find all this boundary, from here we can say at which position it is positive, at which position it is negative. You can say. So now for getting function positive or negative, I have already told you I have to insert poles. Where I will insert pole? One is at x equal to 1, this is at 1. What are the roots? X equal to 5, x equal to 2, x equal to 3. All are standard x minus alpha, x minus beta format. So you can start from left hand side, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, or you can check putting any values. So at what position it is positive and what position it is negative. So you can check with now options also. You can start with D. If x is greater than 5, if x is greater, so D is with, it is 5, that means positive. Positive is which one? Q. Q is an option. Sorry, R. R is positive. So obviously D will be matching with R. But this is not the conclusion. You have to check for these also. So for these two, I am checking only Q and R, which option A, B, C, D are satisfying Q and R. So D is satisfying R. C between 3 to 5, it is negative. So C satisfying Q, negative. B satisfying B is 1 to 2, 1 to 2 it is negative. So again it is satisfying Q. A minus 1 to 1 it is satisfying R. So this much is done. Now next is to find when it is less than 1. Now let me take when it is less than 1. So this expression is less than 1. Okay, so you take one that side, then you take LCM. If you take LCM, it will be like this. So it should be less than 0. Okay, now this expression is less than 0. If you remove this minus, so it should be greater than 0. Now again I will put poles. Where I will put pole now? X equal to minus 1 1, 0 is here, x equal to 2, x equal to 3. Again it is a standard format, I will go by this way. So I need positive, positive means this one. This positive means function is less than 1. That means fx is less than 1 because I have put that 1 this side, after that it become positive. But the original starting point was for what purpose I started, at what value this is less than 1. So whatever answer I am getting, the expression is less than 1 at that position. You are getting positive, that is different issue because you have changed it 1 that side, but I have started for less than 1. So whatever conclusion I am doing, that is fx for less than 1. This was my original fx. I have modified fx bringing minus 1 that side. So you see where it is positive, this zone and this zone. So it will be less than 1 from minus 1 to 2, minus 1 to 2, and it will be from 3 to infinity. Okay, now you can check with the options also. First option is you can play with the d. Now d, what is d? D is greater than 5. So if you see greater than 5, if it is greater than 5, then what it is? It is less than 1? Yes, it is less than 1. So with the d you will find s also. R is already satisfied, now s will also come. Now the c is 3 to 5. So if you see 3 to 5, it is also less than 1. So c is s will also come here. B is 1 to 2. So 1 to 2 it is positive. So it is again less than 1. So B with S will also come. With A it is minus 1 to 1, minus 1 to 1, minus 1 to 1, minus 1 to so S. So S will be, S is everywhere. So okay, now next thing is you have to find this one. When F is between 0 to 1. Now you find two range. Now if you see the final answer S is everywhere, you can see this is the final answer. Now if you see here in these zones, your function was positive, your fx was positive, and in this zone, if you can see both these at a time, and in this zone the function is less than 1. So if you need both from 0 to 1, so you need this one is for 0, these positions you can see these are for zeros, minus infinity to 1, 2, 2, 3, 5 to infinity, these all these areas, and less than 1 is this area. So because you need both, so you need to find the common area between two. This area shows greater than 0, this area shows less than 0. So the common area will show it is where it is in between 0 and 1. Because this will give you greater than 0, this will give you less than 0, and the common area will give them between 0 to 1. So what is the common area between these two? Minus infinity to 1, and it is from minus 1 to 2. Now you can check from here, minus infinity to 1. So you can see, if you can draw it here, suppose this is 0, this was your 1, this is your minus 1, and this is 2 suppose. So 1 is saying minus infinity to 1, up to this much, minus infinity to 1, the 1 is saying minus 1 to 2. So the common area minus 1 to 2, this area. So the common area is this one, minus 1 to 1. So minus 1 to 1. And in the upper side it is saying 2 to 3, 1 is saying 2 to 3, and 1 is saying 3 to infinity, and another one is saying 5 to infinity. So 5 to infinity is common, you can see. So it will be 5 to. So the common area is in positive side, the common area is 2 to 3 is not here, but 5 to infinity is here, 5 to infinity is also here. So that's why it is. So this position, it is the function is between 0 to 1. Now again you check with the options. Now you have to check for P only, just you satisfy that P. Okay, from minus. So if you see D is greater than 5, okay, D there will be one P will come in because it is satisfying this. 3 to 5, no, it is not 3 to 5, it is not 1 to 2, so A, along with A also you will find. So final answer is this. A is matching with all these options, B with these options, C is this, and D is this. In 12, A, B, C, D are real numbers. Suppose alpha, beta are the roots of this equation, and alpha 1 by beta are the roots of this equation, where beta square is not equal to, this is given condition. And one thing you check, because both are having alpha, so one root is common between these two. So these are the given thing we can conclude from, we can at a first look we see these things, and one root is 1 by reverse of this one. Now if you see the statement, two statement type, these are statement assertion type, and that means reasoning type. You have to check 1 and 2 both are true or not. If it is both are true, then you will also have to check whether 2 is justifying A or not, or it is a correct explanation of 2 is in the line of A or not, in the same direction. So if you check this one, then you will start with statement 1. If statement 1 is wrong, then you can directly say B is the answer. So if you check statement 1, so statement 1, what they have given, P square minus Q. Now if you see, where from where p square minus q is coming, p square minus q, b square minus ac. So these were nothing but b square minus ac, all these are discriminant. So if you calculate d1 and d2, this is d1, and you have to think abc all are real numbers. This one also is given. Okay, so if you take d1 is this one, d1 d2, if you take 4 common, then this is this. Okay, so what eventually they have given is statement 1, d1 into d2, these two product, 4 is always positive, 4 into 4 is 16. The product of these two is always positive, that's what they have given. Now you have two things then, if both are product is positive, both can be positive, both can be negative. So now in order to check whether statement 1 is false or not, let me try to draw a conclusion of one positive, one negative, because these two they have given. I will check this one is correct or not. But if I can find that the thing that they have not given here, that is one positive, one negative, if this true, that means their given thing is wrong, because they have not included this one, then I can directly take option D. So if I think one positive, one negative means one discriminant is negative. Suppose D2 is negative, D1 is positive. Now once D2 is negative, that means it will have a complex root. Complex root, suppose x plus, suppose a plus ib, don't confuse with that a. So if one is positive, then another one will be complex, then another one will be conjugate, because it is real. ABC all are real numbers, then this theorem exists. Now if you see, there is a common root. So if one root is common, that means if it is a plus ib, in the second one it should also be a plus ib. Now if second one is also a plus ib, because it is complex, that means this d, what I have considered, this is negative, this is positive. So because there is a complex root, this d cannot be negative, positive. So this one should also be negative. So one positive, one negative cannot be. So till now what they have said, I cannot prove them wrong till now. So let me think whether they are saying these two. Let me concentrate these two. I tried this way so that I can prove them wrong. Statement 1 false. I failed. I didn't able to prove them false. So let me check these two, either these two are correct or not. If these two are correct, any one of these two, then their statement is true. So because either these will happen or these will happen, or both can also happen. That is either both positive or both negative. Both can. How can this? It will be positive also negative. Either they will be positive or they will be negative. Any one of this case. Now if I say both negative, so both negative means again both will have complex. So the roots will be 1 minus. So if you see both the roots are equal, I have already told you. If in case of common roots, if the common root is the complex, that means both the roots are same. That means these two equations are same. So if both the roots are same, if you see the second roots, one was beta, one was 1 by beta. So these two should be equal. So beta should be equal to 1 by 2, 1 by beta. That means beta should be equal to plus 1 minus 1. But they have given beta is not equal to this one. So that means both negative cannot be. So what should be? Both can be positive. So I cannot conclude anything which justify this one as wrong. Whatever given in the question, that shows me that they can be positive. Both can be positive. So if both can be positive, that means it is included in statement 1. So statement 1 is true. So if both is positive, then statement 1 is true, because then product will be positive. Okay, now let me check statement true. If I check statement 2, this is given. This is PA, not product, P into A. PA, that is if I take B, A this side, B by A. If I say A this side, C by A. So if I take B by A, C by A, it is nothing but here sum of the roots from this one. So if I take B by A, if I multiply it minus 2B by A, so that it becomes sum of the roots, it becomes sum of these two roots, alpha plus 1 by beta here. And here it is product. If you do this one, and this minus 2P is the sum of these two, alpha get cancel beta. Okay, this is already given in the question. So this statement goes to that line. So that means statement 2 is also true. Here also, if we find, this is also given in the question, this condition. So obviously this is also true. So statement 2 is true. Now you have to check whether 2 is the correct explanation or 1 is not. How to check? While calculating 1, you check whether we have done something which is common. So you see this zone. This zone you see. From here to here we have done this calculation. And here also we have done same thing. So the same thing, if you find a common thing what you have done in statement 1, you are doing in statement 2 also. That means statement 2 is the correct explanation. It is in the same direction that statement 1 is going through. So that's why, because these two are common in statement 1 also. So that's why you can check whether statement 2 is the correct explanation or not. Whatever calculation you do in 2, whatever calculation you do for statement 1, if there is a common branch between these two common things, then you will say statement 2 is the correct explanation of statement 1. The smallest value of k for which these roots are real, distinct and least value 4. So roots, that is location of roots, at least 4, it should be less than 4. So these are the location of roots. How to calculate location roots, I have told you, you can use this one, these methods. But as it is easy here, why it is easy? Because you can make it perfect square. I have shown you so many times. Because it is perfect square is easy, you can do by this way also. Because I have seen 16k square somewhere. If you see this one, 16k square, so it will make you x minus 4k whole square, 8kx. So it is directly perfect square here. Now if you take that side, it becomes this. If you calculate x become this. So this should be at least 4. So this should be greater than equal to 4. Now if you take this one plus minus, this is 1 is 1 minus k and 1 is k minus 1. So if I say 1 minus k is positive, and now I have to think, because these two are reverse. See, the x and root x is not root x, it is root minus x. So I have to think x, whether x is positive or negative. That's what the trick is here. So if I take 1 minus k, so 1 minus k is, if it is greater than 0, then obviously k minus 1 will be less than 0. So negative number root is always imaginary. So imaginary and real cannot be comparable. So that does not hold true. So this case doesn't hold true. This case doesn't justify anything, doesn't show me any way. So obviously 1 minus k should be less than 0. So if 1 minus k is less than 0, then what we can do? If 1 minus k is less than 0, that means this is positive. Okay, that means you will get some root. So this is negative. 1 minus k is negative, I have taken. So the positive root will be always greater than negative root. Positive root will be always greater than negative. This is always true. So this will also give me no conclusion. So I can draw conclusion from negative root. This one should be greater than this one. Now if you multiply with minus, you are getting in a positive. Why I have eliminated? Because if it is positive, because this is negative you are considering, this is not a possible, this is the possible solution, possible case. So this is negative and the positive value will be always greater than negative value. So there is no conclusion. So I am going with negative value. Now if I minus it, if I multiply it minus, it is something like that. Because I have already multiplied is minus, so this already becomes positive. So I can divide it by positive number inequality. So if I divide by this one, this becomes this. If I take, what is the meaning of this? This means k minus 1 is greater than, always greater than 1. I am not exactly perfect squaring it. You have to be very careful. I am not doing the square here, because I told you to avoid this one as much as you can. Root of k minus 1 should be greater than 1. So if the number is greater than 1, then its root will be greater than 1, as simple as it is. So the number should be greater than 1. Greater than or equal to is there. So k should be greater than or equal to 2. That means the least value of the k is 2. Or you can go by this way also. That is, this theory I have explained in the theory classes. If you like the video, then press the like button and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.